today we are looking at growing your referral network. Reason that falls under a tech power
Hello?
hour. Hey, Marie.
Hi.
Question for you.
Okay.
I sent over the earnest money.
So the reason that falls under a tech power hour is that this is a function in command. Okay. There's a lot that you can be doing with regards to getting your name out there. We are the largest brokerage in the world. We're an international company. So that being said, there's a lot of opportunity that even resides outside of just the borders of our state. So really want to show you guys some techniques, some strategies of getting that to happen. There are some people who are in this office who are really good at it. I would love to be able to log into their command and see what their referral network looks like in command. I'll bet it's very vast. It does take some consistency, and it does take some just being purposeful about it, right? So there's a lot of people, well, I don't know that there's a lot of people. There's people that are heading out to Mega Agent Camp in a few weeks, right? So that starts August 12th. So I want to make sure that, because this is being recorded, excuse me, all these allergies. This is being recorded. So I'll have this on YouTube very quickly, probably later today. If not today, then for sure by tomorrow. So that those that need to watch this who are going out to Mega Agent Camp can start to get those gears turning as far as what they need to be doing out there to start building that referral network and building their business in that way that they can start to receive referrals from outside of the state. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get logged into command. So I'll log into command. And so the very first thing I want to look at is how other agents or brokers, there are 4 states that do not practice agency. So how other agents or brokers are looking at me, looking at my profile. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little drop down by my name, and I'm going to make sure that my referrals profile is good to go. Okay. This is going to be your first impression for those who are not going to be, you're not going to be meeting in person, like at Mega Agent Camp or at some other like KW function outside of the state. If this is just something that you're going to try to be reaching out to people from within the state, reaching out to those across the US or outside of that, this is going to be the first thing that they're going to see when they go and check out your profile. So you go to your referrals profile, and it's going to show you what you have. For most of us, there is a bio that is in there, and it's going to be that generic one that we got from Scott Leroy Marketing when we first joined. So unless you have gone in and you've updated your profile, it's going to be that, or you may not even have one. Because what I do want to point out is that this profile is different from the profile that goes out to like your website and to everywhere else where that information populates out to. Okay, so your referral profile, it might take some of the data initially from your basic profile, your what is it called, the marketing profile, this one. It might take the information from that initially, but then that's it. Okay, this is agent to agent or broker to agent, right? However you want to think about it. So the ones who are going to be seeing this profile is not going to be people visiting your website. It's going to be people who are considering you to send a referral to. Okay. So this is going to be completely in-house. So you'll notice that on mine, I tailored it specifically to talk to an agent, to talk to a Keller Williams agent, right? So my bio starts out with, "Hola KW fan," right? So I am addressing another realtor. Okay. And then as you read through it, as you read through my bio, it does read like I'm talking to another realtor. Okay. You can, like, I end it with, you can trust that your clients are in good, caring, and experienced hands with me. Let's connect. Right. So I want this to speak to another broker, another agent. Okay. So this is going to be different. And the way that you would go in here and you would start to make those changes is you would just click on the edit profile up on the upper right. If I click on the edit profile, I can put in all this information. Some of it is required, not all of it, right? So email address, primary phone number, those are required. When it took my data from my marketing profile and populated it in here, I only have a mobile phone number on my profile. I don't have a primary. So that space was blank. And then when I made the changes that I needed to make and I hit save changes at the bottom, it wouldn't save because I didn't fill out all of the required fields. So I just copied and pasted my mobile phone number into the primary phone, and then that allowed me to save the changes. But this is where you're going to go in and make those changes. A couple of fields or a few fields, excuse me. Ah. So a few fields you're not going to be able to change, right? Your name and your QUID, your KW user ID, those things you're not going to be able to change. The only way to change, and I can't even change those for you. So staff can't do it. If you get married and you have like a change of like your last name, the only way that those things can change is by us reaching out to Keller Williams Realty International support. Okay, so they're the ones that have to do it. They have to do it on their end. But otherwise, you go in here and you fill in all the blanks, right? I want people to be able to see how I am showing up on social media. So I put all of my social media stuff in here, right? And then at the bottom, if you don't even want to be in the referral network, you don't have to. This is where you can opt out. Okay. And that's just, you're just kind of keeping yourself out of the loop from gaining some opportunities. I don't know why you would do that, but you could have your reasons. Maybe you're a part-timer, and you're just not looking to do that kind of stuff. Maybe you're somebody who just wants to, send referrals out, but not receive referrals, those types of things. You could opt out. Otherwise, below that, you can show your stats and things on your profile. If you want, you can turn those things on or off, right? So whether it's closed units, listings sold, even your time with KW, you can turn all of that on or off to show on your profile. Okay. So for me, not currently in production, have not had production in a long time, I keep most of that stuff off. I turned on time with KW. I don't really think that that's going to have a major impact. But I've been here over a year, so I went ahead and just turned that on just to show that. Okay. I figure that in my bio, it already says that I have over 9 years experience in the real estate industry. So that kind of like speaks for itself. I was doing other things. I was elsewhere. Okay. So once you're good there, you save the changes. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel because I didn't make any changes. You save the changes and then you can just double check your profile and make sure everything looks correct. Right. So I can edit the headshot on here if I need to. So the way that you come up in command, it will show what roles you have. So I have an additional role as the MCTT, the Market Center Tech Trainer. So I do come up with this MC Site Admin role under my profile. For most of you, for probably all of you, you're going to probably just have the KW agent role. Okay. And then the rest of your stuff is all going to be on here, including which this was one of the boxes when you went to edit the profile, the service areas. You could separate all that. So I put all of mine into one service area. I put Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and the surrounding areas. But if we go back to edit the profile and just take a quick look at that, I can go add new right here, and I can separate all those. So if I wanted to put multiple service areas, I want to put, I service Albuquerque, I service Rio Rancho, I service Bernalillo. Like I can put all of those separate into separate service areas if I wanted. Okay, so that is an option. any questions on this? Pretty straightforward. So again, this is basically agent to agent, okay? This is gonna be in-house. This is your first impact on somebody who's looking at you, okay, and considering you. So once I'm good there, then let's go back over to command, because right now we are in connect. So I'm going to go back over to command, and we're going to check out the referrals app, okay, within command. So if you can't, if you don't want to hover over each one, find it, just remember you can click the little KW at the top left corner, pops out your labels, and then you can see that this one right here is your referrals app, okay? I click into the referrals app, and it's going to show me my dashboard and who I'm connected with, okay? If this were something that I were doing, which this is something that I need to be doing, I'm a little upset with myself right now looking at this, and I only have one person in my referral network. I've seen some referral networks, for people who are doing this stuff, teaching these classes online, and they get to their referral network and it's like 300, 400 people long, right? So they have people that they can refer to all over the US, right? So this list could be very, very long. For me, it's just one person, okay? But this, excuse me, this dashboard is going to just give you a quick view of what it is that you have within your network, and what things you are currently doing. So if I have any pending invites, like if I've reached out to somebody and invited them to connect with me, that would show right there. If I have any pending referrals, so somebody's reaching out to me to connect, that would be right there. And then as far as like referrals themselves, anything that I've sent out or received is going to be right here, okay? I want to show you that you have the option on here to track your referrals. You can grow your network, which we'll get into that, right? So I have this one person here, Pam, that I am connected with. If I wanted to send Pam a referral, maybe I've got a client who's in the military heading out to Georgia. They have a lot of military bases and stuff out there. So I have somebody that's, getting stationed out there. They're moving. I look to see who I have in my network, and we'll just say I've got 300 people in my network, but I choose Pam because she's specifically in the area where this person is going. I could send her the referral, okay? So over on the right-hand side, I do have that button where I can just send the referral, okay? Things on here that can kind of help you to kind of track your stuff. I like to tag people. So this area right here is tags. So we've talked about managing your database in the past and how important it is to tag people. Tags is going to help me find the right people in the right places that I would trust for my clients. So if Pam spoke Tagala, if she spoke Tagala and she was, in Georgia and she was connected to the military, I might put another tag on here that says language dash Tagala, right? And so if I have a Filipino client and I know they speak Tagala and they're moving out they're getting stationed out in Georgia, Pam would be my person to go to. I would quickly be able to see those tags. She's connected to the military. So I actually met Pam through the KW military community, right? That's why I have her tagged military. And then if she spoke another language, then that right off the bat, boom, that narrows me into Pam. And then I can send my referral to her and be comfortable with that. Okay. If she's one of my favorite go-tos in the area, maybe I have, maybe I'm really well connected with Kirtland Air Force Base and I'm getting a lot of vets coming out of there and maybe there's a lot of people that are moving out right now. I might favorite her. Okay. If I add her to favorites, so if I click the little star and I add her to favorites and I've got, 300-400 people in my network, I can filter them out over here on the right-hand side. I can filter them out by favorites. Okay, so that's what that is for. So that little star is for the stars that you would be seeing here all lined up. If they're clicked and they're gold, then that's a filter feature that I can use. Okay. If I need quick information about Pam, I just click on the little drop down over here to the left. Okay. Quick little drop down. So maybe I filter it to all the people in that Cumming, Georgia area, and maybe I've got like 5 of them. And I want to just see some quick stats on them, some quick notes on them. Maybe I've created some notes on them. I can quickly look at that by hitting that drop down. Gives me their contact information, gives me some quick agent stats. And if I'm looking at like 4 or 5 different people, this can help me narrow it down on who I want to send that referral to. Okay. Does all of this make sense so far? Does anybody have any questions? Okay. So it's pretty straightforward. That's one thing I really love about Command is that it can be super user friendly. You need like maybe just a little bit of guidance on where to find things a lot of times, but a lot of times once you get there, it's pretty user friendly and you can quickly like throw in people, add people, like it's pretty easy to use. So I've got Pam. Now let's go to the next tab over is going to be my referrals. So I haven't sent or received any referrals. Again, this is something I need to work on. But if I had, I would have the information here for those. Okay, so anything that I sent out, I can track the status of right here. Okay, or anything that I've received from out of state, anything that I've received, same thing. I could be tracking the status of those right here. Okay, it'll show me what's pending, what's active, what was lost, canceled or expired, things that I may have rejected as well, or they may have rejected. Okay, so all of that would fall under this. So when I was on that dashboard, the one thing I didn't really touch on was this grow my network. So grow my network is going to automatically take you to the map. Okay, so you'll see that I've got dashboard, my referrals, and then the map. So if I click on grow my network, that's where it's going to take me. It's going to take me to the map. Okay, so I see in Slack all the time, hey, does anybody have a go-to person in this place in Illinois, in this place in Oregon, like wherever? I see that stuff come up in Slack all the time. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll bet they don't know how to use this feature. All right. It's still great to ask. Maybe somebody has like somebody that they've worked directly with, and it's a great way to find somebody that somebody else has had an actual experience with, instead of just going at this and just trying to see who jumps out at you. This takes a little bit more. You got to do a little research. So it's still a great way. It's a great thing to ask in Slack. I'm not knocking those people for asking that. I'm just curious as if they actually know that this exists. I know some do. I've talked to like the Barons. I know that they are fully aware of this and utilizing it and building on it. Like I know that they are working this, which is awesome, and I hope that everybody else can start to see the value in this and start to do it as well. But this is where you would go to answer those questions. Hey, does anybody have somebody in Chemeketa, Oregon, or whatever? Right? You can go and you can plug that directly in here. So we'll say I've got somebody going out to Chicago. Okay, I'm going to search the map. So I'm going to go Chicago, Illinois, and you'll notice that I have this set right now on production. So what it's going to do is it's going to pull up some recent production that's happened in the Chicago area. Okay, maybe I've got somebody who's specifically moving out to like, we'll say Elmwood Park. Okay, so my client, my friend that I've worked with, we've known each other, they've been in my sphere for a long time. They're leaving, and I want to still help them. They're heading out to Elmwood Park in a specific area. So I want to find somebody in Elmwood Park that knows the area, has done some recent sales, that I can trust and send them to somebody good. Okay. Elmwood Park, you'll see is right here, right where the hand is at. I'm going to zoom in to that. And all these little clusters are going to start to break apart as I get closer in. Okay. So now these are some recent sales that have happened in the Elmwood Park area. Okay. So we'll say that my client is specifically looking to move into like the Fullerton Avenue area. They're looking at some houses in there already, have some high interest in that area. I can look at who has recently sold properties, even directly on Fullerton Avenue or West Fullerton Avenue. I can look directly on there and see who sold a property there. And if I want to, I can send them directly to that person. I can check them out first, research them a little bit. So I'll click on this one that was directly on West Fullerton. Click on that. It's going to pull the person up. I don't know why it's been doing this morning. It's not supposed to pull up everybody's card like this. It's been freaking out this morning, and I was hoping that it was not going to do it for this class, but apparently it is. Typically the way that this works is that, and it has to be a glitch that's just happening now. But typically the way that this works is I click on the person. Holy cow. Let's see if I can get this to stop. Let me go refresh. It was doing it on my computer before this class, and I was like, oh, it won't happen on the other computer, but it is. So it's got to be a command glitch. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can actually scroll further into Elm Park, so to hopefully that won't happen. So I scroll further in. Where is that property? Okay. So I'm looking for this property. Where'd it go? Stop doing that. Okay, screw it. We're gonna go with this one over here. Oh, there we go. So I click on this property, or even if I just hover over it, it shows me who sold the property over off to the right-hand side. So that was Jessica Twothorn, right? So this property was sold by Jessica Twothorn. I can check her out and see if I like Jessica's bio, if I trust like what I'm seeing. If I want to send my clients to her, I can go over here, I can do the drop down, and I could do a quick look at some stats, or I can click on her name and it's going to take me to her bio. So that same bio that we were looking at earlier, that referral bio, like that's where it takes you to, or the referral profile. That's where it takes you to. So she's sold 27 units, 7 listings, 7 buys, 18. So she does a lot of lease. And then I can read her bio here, and I can see her service areas. If I wanted to, I can go and I can check out her socials. Right? So it gives me some great ways to find out if this is somebody that I want to connect with or not. Right? I can even give her a call. Her phone number's on here. I can call her and say, like, hey, like, I'm shopping around right now for a referral partner. Just wanted to ask you some questions. Right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe my clients are Spanish speakers. Do you speak Spanish? Could be one of the first questions. No? Okay, well, this isn't gonna work. Right? These are also things that you can find out by filtering the searches. Okay. So if I go back over, we'll close her out. If I go back over to this, there's a lot of different ways that we can manipulate the results of this map, right? So I can sort different ways. I can sort randomly, or I can sort by first or last name. I can sort by closed units. I can sort by listings sold, all the way down to leases. So there's a lot of different ways that if I've got 6 results or if I've got 50 results, I can sort them different ways. And this might help me. Maybe I'm looking for somebody that has a lot of experience in the area and is doing a lot in the area. So I want to go by closed units, right? Or listings sold. I can do that by, or preferably probably closed units in this area. Okay, so I can filter by that, and that'll help me determine who I might want to reach out to. There's also up here, there's going to be the filters. So I can search with the filters as well. So maybe I want them to have a certain specialization, they're military, so maybe that's one thing that I want to plug in, or I can go by languages spoken. So this is something that would have to be on their profile, right? So I'm going to go by languages spoken, and I can scroll through here and, like I said, there's Spanish speakers. So I want to scroll down and I want to check to see who is Spanish speaking. I click that. Oops, I didn't take it. So Spanish, click out of that. And then there's other ways that I can filter as well if I want to do that, okay? Once I've determined how I want to filter it, I apply the filter. And boom, I've only got one person in that area that's a Spanish speaker. Kind of narrows down my search, okay? So this is how you can go out and you can find those referrals yourself. When you've got somebody that's heading out into like, Chemeketa to Oregon, or like those like places that could be like very, off the beaten path. Are we going to be able to, like, can you reach out on Slack and find somebody, find a referral for Austin, Texas? Oh yeah, guaranteed, easy, no problem. Atlanta, Georgia? Yeah, for sure. But like when they're looking for a specific place, like wherever this was again, I don't remember now. But when they're looking for a specific place, that's going to be a little bit more difficult to find. So this is how you would do that. Okay. So we went over the ways of sorting, the ways of filtering. Now let's look at alternative ways for searching. Okay. So one thing that we did look at was production. That's not the only way to search. I could go based off of market center. Okay, so instead of looking at production dots on the map, if I go based off of market center, I'm gonna have to scroll out a little ways. And now it's gonna start to populate the market centers that are in this area. Okay, so in the Elmwood Park area, the closest market center is gonna be this one right over here. I click on that, it's KW1 Chicago, and they have 23 agents. Okay, so now I just narrowed down my search to 23 agents that, possibly one of those 23 could be Spanish speaking, could be connected to the military. But then that's just another way to go and find what I'm looking for, and then go and sort it and filter it and do whatever I need to do to find the person that I'm going to refer out to. Okay. Any questions? Is this good info to know? Is this helpful? Is anybody using this?
You know what? This is great. I like that you can like find the address and who sold it.
It's great, right? Like I really feel like this is one of those highly underutilized tools in command, that like people don't really talk about a whole lot and aren't really creating those opportunities with. Like I said, like there's people that I know I spoke to David Roybal before heading out to Mega Agent Camp last year, and he told me, he was like, man, like there's two different types of realtors that go to these conferences. There's those ones that like they're all business, and there's those ones that like they're going to this conference to go and have a good time, right? He's like, which one do you want to be? Like, do you want to go out and use it to have a good time? Or do you want to, like, is it going to be business? Like, are you going out to these socials and are you getting shit faced? Are you getting plastered? Or are you connecting? Are you handing out business cards, or even going onto your command app and starting to like exchange that information and connecting through through the referral network? Which one are you? Right? You can be productive or you can be social. But a lot of times you don't see both. You'll see people who are hyper social and get all that done, but come back with, not a whole lot in hand. Maybe a hangover. So you get to choose. So that's why I wanted to have this class before Mega Agent Camp, because I think that it's a great opportunity for people to go out and start to make these connections, start to build up that network, right? So the last little section on here is the My Network. It's similar to the dashboard. If you've got tons of people in your network, they're all going to show right here. Excuse me. And this is where you would go to take a look at all of them, see what you got, and see, maybe you're lacking in, like you've got people who are starting to head out to California. They're getting stationed in San Diego, or they're getting stationed, further up north, Anaheim or wherever. So you've got people that are moving around, and I'm just talking like from the mindset of like, I'm working within my military network, right? So this is my niche. This is what I'm working. People are going out. I don't have people that I can refer out to in the California area. Maybe that's something I need to start doing, right? I can go on here. I can use the map. I can use this map, and I can start to see who I would want to reach out to, who speaks to me, like whose profiles, like who's taking this seriously, whose profiles match what it is that I'm looking for in these different areas. Like, this is an incredible opportunity. Like, what was the percentage that they've said about Lisa's business? Lisa comes in here and she's doing like 75 to 80% of her business is referral. Like, that's and like referral network, right? Not just like from within her SOI, but referral network. Like, that's crazy. Like, that is huge. So that shows the opportunity that lives here. Okay. So what I wanted to go to past this, right? So now we talked about, updating our referral profile and make sure that that's designed the way that we want it to be seen when somebody's considering us for referral. Utilizing the tools and the strategies within the referral application on command to be able to grow our network, right? What all of that looks like, how I can find somebody, all of that good stuff. Now let's talk about where we can start to actually even create those niches from. Okay, so this is going to take us outside of command. So this is going to be something outside of even like the tech world, maybe kind of even venturing into coaching a little bit. But this is going to be looking at other places that you can build your network within KW. Okay, so other resources where you can find your referral partners. And I'm talking about KW communities. Okay, KW communities is a way that you can connect with people that have the same interests, same beliefs, same whatever, that are in KW all over the place, internationally. Okay, so I belong to a couple of these. Well, I belong to technically 3 of them. So I belong to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. I belong to the KW Military, and then I also belong to the KW Wellness. Okay, so these were communities that kind of stood out to me. Honestly, these were communities that kind of like really pushed me to even coming to KW. Once I saw that KW had these, I was like, oh, I'm all in. This is super cool. Now I can find people who speak my speak, and I can start to build my network around that. I can start to have conversations with these people, and I can really find my tribe, find my people, even within KW, that's already kind of your tribe, right? So if any of these stand out to you, the KW Young Professionals, KW Wealth, sports and entertainment, that's one that, like, I know Roberta Gore does the sports and entertainment. She's told me that she's gone out to the sports and entertainment socials at the conferences, like family reunion and stuff like that, and how cool it is, the stuff that they do, those networking opportunities. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are so nice. I love it. I try to provide you guys as much value as possible. I want you guys to thrive. And honestly, this helps me too, right? If I'm out here and I'm teaching you all this, I got to be able to walk the walk too, so that when I am going out and finding lessons for the tech power hours and whatnot, I have to go and do some of the work, in advance to be able to create the class so that you guys have something to look at, and you guys can see how it should be done. So thank you for that. I appreciate those sentiments. Thank you guys. But yeah, so absolutely the communities you should be getting plugged into. This is, and you don't have to get plugged into them just because you're going to Mega Agent Camp or Family Reunion. Get plugged into these because they have offerings. Excuse me. They have offerings every single month, right? So, like for example, with the KW military, I get a newsletter. Like I want to say it's at least once a week, but sometimes it's like twice a week with things that are going on, like what's going on within the KW military community this week. And it's stuff like, oh, they're meeting up for a mastermind, or they're offering a free class on like whatever, like military relocation program or whatever. They offer tons of opportunities within those communities. So you go to these, like you get plugged into these, you get the newsletters, you get plugged into, some of them have like the private Facebook groups that you can get plugged into that. That's actually how I met Pam. So the one person that's in my referral network, I met Pam because I joined the KW military community. And then of course, I went directly, like I'm a social media kind of person. I went into social media to see, what they were doing, what KW military was doing on social media. And I found the private group. And so I asked to join, they let me in. And now I'm connected with all those people in that private group. And I see when they're doing, like sometimes they'll do lives where they're like the people who are running the group are doing something. They're talking about an upcoming event, talking about where they're going to be meeting at Mega Agent Camp. Like they're putting together like a dinner or whatever so that people can come together, meet, talk, network, build their referral network, right? So all of these things are happening within these communities, and it's a great way to connect. I tell everybody, like I'm running this K-score program, right? And I have these very real conversations with all of these new people coming in. I tell them all the same thing. You are going into a contact sport, and it's not just making contacts who could potentially buy or sell property with you that's important. It's those relationships that could potentially be on the other side of the transaction that are important as well. Or it's also those relationships that could be sending you referral business that's important as well. Okay. We need to be open. We need to be casting wide nets or even narrow nets, but multiples of them to be able to catch all the things that could be coming to us, right? Two nets catches more than one, right? So this is giving you the ability to cast many nets, right? So that's what I want for you all to think about with regards to this. You're going to cast a net in Illinois. You're going to cast a net in California. You're going to cast a net in Georgia, right? You're going to cast nets all over the country so that when somebody is coming to Albuquerque, they're moving here because they just got stationed at Kirtland Air Force Base, or they just got a job at Sandia Labs or whatever. You've cast those many nets. And now when that starts to take place, you're able to capture that lead or that referral. Okay. So these communities are a great way to start really building your referral network. Get plugged into these. As you go into some of them, like for example, the DEI community, if I go into that, sometimes they have like kind of like communities within communities, right? So like DEI specifically has like the affinity groups. So if I scroll down and I go to, so it says community, we get down to where it has the affinity groups. So I am also a part of these as well. And these are things that I do, that I partake in, like on social media, those private Facebook groups. I'm a part of the Chispa private Facebook group. I'm a part of the Hispanic Leaders of Real Estate private Facebook group. Again, those are opportunities for referrals, opportunities for education, opportunities for networking. Like these are just a lot of opportunities here, right? And they have a ton. So the Pan Asian Network, the real estate professionals that for Arabic speakers, KW Signs. Some of these are brand new. KW Tribal, right? So some of these are new. There's a lot more groups that are starting to pop up, and it's really cool because then you can start to connect with, again, people who speak your speak. You can start to find your tribe within this big tribe, right? And so you can really start to find your niche. So that's really what I want you all to get out of this, is that there's multiple ways to build that referral network, and I want you to know where to find those. Okay, so I am currently under the KW communities. You can just honestly, you can just Google KW communities and it'll take you to this page, or you can go on to Connect and you can find it there. But there are a ton of them. Some of them have requirements. For example, you cannot join KW Luxury just because you want to. Okay, KW Luxury does have prerequisites. You need to be selling luxury homes, so 750 and up. Okay, some of these you have to pay for. Luxury is one of those. Depending on, like, some of them have tiered options. So like KW Military, I do excuse me, I do the free membership with them, and that just kind of plugs me into honestly a lot of the networking stuff. But I could pay for the paid membership, and I get invited to like the masterminds and things like that. Like when I'm at a family reunion or mega agent camp, you get into like the social, like the dinners and stuff, possibly for free or at like a reduced price because you're a paid member. Okay, so some of these they're all different. You just got to check them out, see what jumps out to you. One that I saw that I just recently saw that I thought was really cool is the KW operations. I did not know that this existed. This is super cool. There's a lot of TCs and admins that a lot of times they're just kind of in the back end. They're kind of like, oh, I'm just like kind of helping this person out. Like, where do I fit in? They have their own tribe as well. And I think that that's super cool. So they can join KW operations, connect with other TCs and admins from all over the country and help each other out. Right. So these exist, and I want you to know that they exist and where to find them. And then so lastly, the last thing I wanted to cover, so this could be kind of a short tech power hour, maybe a tech power 3/4 hour. But the last thing I wanted to cover was the Mega Agent Camp, right? So Mega Agent Camp is coming up. So if I go here to the details, coming up August 12th through the 15th. There's all this information on it. Some of you are going, I don't like, I think a lot of us are not. The agenda is on here though, which is what I wanted to point out. The agenda is on here. A lot of times the communities are going to put stuff out that they're doing. Like, this is a perfect opportunity for us all to come together. We talk on Facebook all the time. We talk through emails, and you see our faces in like the Zoom classes and things like that. But we don't get to connect until family reunion or mega agent camp. So a lot of times you can come to the agenda and you can find where they're going to be connecting. So if I do the community members, so I went to agenda, and then I'm going to filter out the agenda to the community members. And a lot of times the communities aren't putting their stuff on the agenda, but some of them are. When I do this, it's specifically showing me when luxury community is meeting, and the educational opportunities or mastermind opportunities or luncheons. So the social opportunities that are happening for the luxury community through the agenda on Mega Agent Camp. Otherwise, typically the communities will put out information, through their newsletters, their Facebook group or whatever. They'll put out when they're meeting at Mega Agent Camp. So they're saying that, we're going to be in Austin. We're going to meet at, we've already reserved a huge spot at this restaurant, come and be a part of that. So I highly recommend that you take advantage. Okay. Any questions, any comments, feedback? How do you guys feel about this? All right, quiet bunch today. Okay, so this is being recorded. I will try to get this onto YouTube as soon as possible. If you have any questions, like Carlette, I know you jumped in a little bit later, so this is being recorded. You'll get to see everything that you missed here shortly. I'll get that out as quickly as possible. But if you guys have any questions, if I missed anything, let me know. If you can let me know sooner than later, I can do an edit before I post the video. And a lot of times I'll kind of just plug in an additional video somewhere and be like, oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. So I can do that stuff pretty well on the fly. But let me know if I missed anything, if you have questions, you need anything, reach out to me. You guys all know how to get a hold of me. Thank you all for coming.